Hey guys, today I have a process video of me working in my junk journal art journal. So I'm actually going to copy one of the pages I did in my art journal, which is putting a bunch of flowers in and kind of like, I don't know, like painting over it and stuff. So the journal I did, I think I show you this eventually. I used wax paste, like my DIY wax paste in it. In this video, I'm going to do a different route. So these are flowers I got from Tuesday Morning. They were like 99 cents. And I didn't really like them, so I'm just gonna put them in here. I'm using some rubber cement to put them down. Um, but I bought them kind of for this purpose, so I'm glad that I didn't really like them. They had little gems on them. You can see me picking yeah, you can see me picking them up, but some of them were coming off, and then some were just missing, and I couldn't find them. So I ended up putting stars on like some of them just to add something to the top so it doesn't look like I missed something or something's missing. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going and putting some wood flowers, not wood flowers, wood stars, wood veneer stars on. Now I'm going to get some texture paste from uh, Walmart. I'm using that too and getting it kind of placed. And I'm showing you my other journal. This is what it looks like. This is in process. I think I'll show you the finished version of it later, but that's some flowers I got from AliExpress. I'm showing that I would rip them apart until they're like that, and then I glue them in and put gesso and texture paste on top of it. But it's drying right now, so I want to move on to something else. So I'm doing like a similar thing in this journal. Um, but it takes a long time to dry. It's a lot of glue and texture paste and gesso and stuff. So now that's later on. The gesso has I gessoed it, and the gesso is dried and everything. And I'm gonna move on to adding some like chalk paint. If you watch my recipe, my DIY glimmer chalk paint, you've seen this recipe. It's really simple. It's very opaque. I like using it as like a white paint or as a gesso sometimes because it has the same ingredients as my gesso does. So I'm gonna paint on some of it, just kind of give me a better base. So I'm painting on some of the flowers and on the craft paper that I'm using, just to give me a nice base and kind of cover the colors because I'm not a big fan of the colors anyways. So I really like this. Kind of get prep so the color that I'm gonna add sticks out more and is more vivid. So I'm taking down some of my DIY spread inks, and I'm going to use those. I think I like a red color, my magenta, a dark magenta. I think it's a purple. Maybe some teals are in there too. I think I kept it like really teals, purples, and maybe a little bit of blue. But I think it's mostly teals and not teals, mostly reds and magentas and purples. And I'm shaking up that glimmer mist that's from the DIY Easter egg die kits, and I'm using some paper because it was getting everywhere, and I didn't want it to get on my other page I just finished. Um, that's the blue. So I had just blue, purple, red, and like a dark magenta and a light magenta and some shimmer. I'm going back and forth and adding the color to kind of get myself a nice blend. And of course, I did not wait for the paint to dry when I did this. Just splattering and spraying back and forth, kind of getting myself a nice texture. I really like that shimmer ink. It's like really nice and um, glimmery. So I just keep going back and forth to see like what I like and adding colors to where I feel like there aren't um, there's too much of this or too much of that. And I'm dabbing up some of the excess sprays that didn't get soaked in. And I was thinking of adding these butterflies, but I ended up not adding them because I didn't really like them. After that is dried, I'm actually going to add in my some inking around the edges. This is some little ink pens I got from eBay, like 77 cents or something. Really nice. They're pigment inks, so they're permanent and they're waterproof. So I'm adding the colors, and there's two colors on each side. I'm add some purple to it, and I think that's all I'm really going to add to that is like some purple, because I don't have a red or anything. to splatter some paint on it. So I really want some more splatters, more defined splatters. Um, and my spray ink has kind of had a soaked in, so it's not as defined as I want it to be. And you guys know I love splatters, so I have to add splatters here. And I'm gonna add some of my shimmer ink. If you saw my video, how to make that, I'm adding that to this too. I think I'm adding my I think it's like a, it's not gold, it's like a pale gold. I'm adding that. I have to shake it up because it does settle a little bit because of the mica powder. So I'm adding that nice shimmer. I'm gonna add my purple one too. I have a purple shimmer ink or glitter ink that I'm gonna add to it too. And I always just take the dauber out because I just want to splatter this on. And just using my scrap paper to kind of clean my brush off. And I'm adding this glimmer to the little diamonds and stuff on top of the flowers and the star I put there. Now I'm going to mix up some of my chalk paint and use that to splatter on. It was too thick out of that container, and so I'm going to use this one instead. And use my favorite brush for splattering, which is my fan brush. It's like the best. That's the one that's like 5 years old. I can't get rid of it. It's my favorite one. It's firm enough, but soft enough that I can do this. Now I'm getting some of my ink sprays and using the tip of like the spray tube to dot some color on it, and then splattering some more blue on it. I thought I really missed some blue because it keeps going more purple. And then we're adding some yellow, but I'm just going to splatter this. And this is the same shimmer Easter die kit ink from the Dollar Tree. So yeah, really gotta try that. It's really pretty. I mean, it might be a little too late since Easter's gone. Now I'm looking for something to put on top of it. I kind of want to put something over the flowers. I found that frame that I cut a while back for my silhouette, which I want to use that, but I want to add something to it. So I'm actually going to emboss on that with my recollection and some letters. Just because I just bought this embossing powder, so I'm really liking it and really want to try it out since I have the tools to use it. And then I'm using some distress ink too to add. So I'm using my Tim Holtz um, letter stamp set. I don't know the name of it or anything. And I'm folding the paper so I can pour the embossing powder back in. So I've done everything off camera, and I'm using this distress ink. I think it's like lilac color, like a light lilac color. And I want to add it there. So I'm going to get some plastic packaging and watercolor it on. And of course, the embossing powder is resisting the letters. So I'm doing that. I add a bunch of random letters to this. I think letters. Like E, O, P, T. It's like really random. So that's what I did. And I use Recollection embossing powder and Recollections embossing pad. I'm going to add that there, but I really want something in the background. So I want to splatter it a little bit too to kind of make it blend the background, which is splatter too. So it looks like more cohesive. I just kind of found this thing on my desk. Just use the things that you throw on your desk sometimes, or don't throw anything away. Just keep everything. And I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna be messing with my music that I'm listening to, or I want to get something. I think I'm searching through my stamps for a specific stamp. I think that's what I'm doing right now. And I might be getting some book text so I can use on this page too. So I kind of should have just cut this part out. If I knew it was gonna be this long and of me doing absolutely nothing. But of course, this video was supposed to be a talking video, but it was going to be almost an hour long. I was like, no, I don't feel like that is going to be real. So I just decided to just voice over it. So I could be talking right now. Okay, I see what I'm doing. I'm getting my glue gun because I'm not going to glue that now with any regular glue. And so I'm heating that up. I'm using my big poster pen from the Dollar General for my dollar store general challenge. And I'm outlining that, getting in those difficult spaces since it's permanent. And it kind of helps to stand out than trying to use an ink pad or anything. And found my stamp set, and I found some paper on my desk. And I'm going to use and stamp on it with some Distress Oxides. Um, and actually, while I'm doing this page, I'm using walnut stain, I think. While I'm doing this page, I'm actually doing the page right next to it. So you saw that teacup is now glued down. I'm like multitasking. So I'm going to stamp this and I'm going to spray it too, just to make it react. And the interesting thing happens, this page is really thin. It ended up soaking through and like basically dyeing the back of it. And I sprayed it with some brown ink too, my DIY spray inks too, to make it more vintage. And I'm dabbing on some ink on the edges to see like make it look burnt or something, I guess. And I want to add that, but I end up liking the reverse of it actually better than I like the stamped image. Like you can see, I reversed it and I like that much better. It like peeked through very faintly, and I fell in love with it. So I ended up keeping that side and just adding some things to this side to make it fit what I want. But if you can see, it's very faint, and I really like it. How you can still get the details, but it's reversed, and it's a little more, I say vintage, but yeah, vintage. And it was too wet because I just sprayed it with some spray ink and stuff. So I wanted to dry out before I used my hot glue gun, so it would cool. And I mean, actually adhere to my paper. So since this page is very bulky, I'm going to use my hot glue gun because, of course, I had no patience. I'm gluing that down and making sure it's adhered. Since I'm gluing it to these big old flowers, um, I'm unplugging that and moving that so I won't burn myself. And I'm about to date it after I find out what the date is. Using my dye ink pad from Tuesday morning, I'm just dotting a bunch of random all over it because I don't really care. And I wanted to add some edging to the back, so I'm using my Spectrum Noir brown um alcohol marker. I don't know what color it is. I don't remember what color it is. I think it's like EB5 or something. I don't remember. So I'm edging that out, kind of like the sketchy outline. And of course, I have to splatter some more paint, so I'm adding some black to this. It's not complete until you splatter. I think I'm trying to avoid splattering on the frame and the picture. So I'm looking at it. I'm actually really liking it. Oh, I didn't tell you. I actually ended up cutting the flowers on the side too because my book wouldn't close. So if you can see that, they're kind of cut so they could close. So I cut those off too. So I didn't tell you that. But this is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it and you got some inspiration. I love you guys much and get crafty, guys. Bye.